You took away anti-crime. You cut my numbers in the field.
Tom Selleck is an incredible actor and one with a lot of respect in the industry. I mean, this is the guy who played Magnum P.I. for God's sakes. Everybody loves him. Over the last decade also, he has been playing the lead role in Blue Bloods, which he said is one of his favorite roles of all time. It is a pretty simple role for the actor, as he gets to enjoy a very integral role in a series without doing any sort of stunts like his Magnum P.I. days. He definitely loves the series and actually has a lot of control over what goes down in storylines and topics. He's an executive producer on the show, so it makes a lot of sense that he can change things whenever he wants. However, it's not the sort of power that he messes with all the time, if you know what we mean. When it comes to a big actor having power in a series, they only change minute details that might affect them and others around them.
Every day.
So it's my fault some crazy person fired into a busload of teenagers? That a kid got shot at a playground? That's on me?
You and me, together.
I need people to feel safe in this city.
Because of how influential Tom Selleck is in the television industry, because of Blue Bloods, he has quite a bit of power. However, there has only been a few times when he has used this power for good, and this one time was highly important for his career and personal life. He might be a popular actor, but he is also well known for his strong political views. He's certainly no diva on set, but is keen to support the causes he believes in. This is actually why one of the Blue Blood storylines didn't sit right with him, so much so that he decided to change it for a future episode. Blue Bloods isn't a series shy about talking about real issues that face many cops in the United States. They have done so many storylines over the years, and it's a series that people love for how grounded it truly is. It speaks about real issues that cops and people in their lives face each and every day. In the series, there is a particular focus on how Frank Reagan balances doing things right while also staying within the law. It's a very thin line to follow, but the best police officers and generals around the world are the ones that can keep going. The writers are also well aware of the series that there are not always easy answers for most of the dilemmas in the series. Officers face many moral dilemmas on a daily basis.
Any update on that mother's boy in the hospital?
Eli Chesnick had surgery to remove the bullet.
Car plate was altered, but we were able to locate him using a bumper sticker and an anonymous tip.
And it's not like they can fix them with a click of their fingers. The writers know exactly how to create stories with this in mind, as they want to reflect the reality of the life of a police officer on the streets of New York City. This ain't some fantasy show. This is depicting real life with a lot of dramatized elements. It's why people love the series in the first place, as it truly reflects what's going on in the real world. One episode titled Legacy in 2018 saw Rachel Whitten, played by Lauren Patton, detain a male for jaywalking on the street. At the time, Whitten was a rookie and didn't like the way the detained man was acting, which is a usual practice in terms of policing. If someone's not acting right or out of the ordinary, then it's within the police's right to go on and question them and see what's actually happening. She walked up to the man and requested an ID check, then also asked him about his immigration status. The interaction was recorded by some bystander, and subsequently a complaint landed on Reagan's desk. This is already a storyline to deal with, especially in a mostly white cast. However, this sort of action does happen with police, so the series really had to find a way to talk about it. Reagan had a tough choice on his hands because Whitten hadn't actually breached protocol. However, the NYPD deemed that she had been recorded by multiple members of the public racially profiling the jaywalker. And when you think about it, yeah, she basically did. In the end, Reagan took the decision that she should be fired. This made sense in the series, but when thinking about it, it was a thin line that the series crossed. But this thin line didn't get left unnoticed, as this moment irked Tom Selleck. He understood why his character Frank came to that decision at the moment, but it wasn't one he agreed with. Selleck, behind the scenes, then approached Ali Solomon, who wrote the episode. He asked her to fix this this issue, which she then did promptly. Around a year after the episode, Reagan attended a diner in an episode called Milestones. Here, he found Officer Witten and rehired her on the spot after realizing that he was in the wrong and decided that she deserved another chance. After rehiring her, he paired her up with Officer Eddie Janko, who happened to be a son-in-law. Witten would then become a recurring character in the series and actually became a fan favorite down the line. This was all because that storyline didn't sit well with Tom Selleck, as his viewpoints made him realize that this storyline was wrong. Blue Bloods is definitely a series that needs to talk about these issues, but picking what side you are on is really hard in the writer's room. If it acted like Tom Selleck doesn't agree with it, you need to side with your main actor and go with what he wants. At the end of the day, though, the idea of bringing Witten back did make a lot of sense in terms of story. We got to see an officer racially profile someone and be punished for it, but also realize that what they did was completely wrong. Witten might not have realized she was racially profiling the jaywalker, but at the end of the day, that is what she did. Her actions have consequences, especially in a world like ours. We're just constantly changing. Racism is taken so much more seriously than it was around 20 years ago, so a television series in the modern day needs to play off that and show the audience that times have changed. Blue Bloods is the perfect series for this, and this storyline actually worked out really well for the audience and the actors. This storyline is now one of the best written ones in the series, especially because Witten was eventually brought back into the series. We got to see a redemption arc for a wonderful officer and show the audience that people can change. We might always see certain police officers on television being downright disgusting to certain people, but all officers do make mistakes. Tom Selleck may have hated this scene and forced the writers to change it down the line, but it became one of the better storylines in the series. We are really thankful for him as fans, and the series has done better because of it. Blue Bloods is just phenomenal, right everyone? It's one of the best modern day series, and we're going to be so sad when it eventually ends. The series has been going on for well over a decade at this point, so we are sure that the final season is just around the corner. Tom Selleck himself has also taken some time away from the series, and this had a less significant role than a previous seasons. This makes a lot of sense, as even though he is the heart of the series, he needs some time off. Just look at what NCIS did with Gibbs, for God's sakes. That's the perfect example. If Blue Bloods is set to end, though, we hope that its storylines continue to get better as it comes to an end. But what do you think? Let us know in the comments below. We hope you enjoyed today's video. See you next time.
5 times for aggravated harassment and assault, but gets released every time.
And he's been in and out of mental hospitals his whole life.
Wow.
Like learning you're getting divorced from a scheduling update.